Good morning. It is 10 a.m. on January 17, 2023. We will call to order the meeting of the Story County Board of Supervisors. Please stand with me if you're able and say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to adopt today's agenda?
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. Hens.
Aye.
Merkin.
Aye.
Basil. Aye. Now it's time for public comment number one. This comment period is for the public to address topics on today's agenda. Anyone wishing to make public comment, you can raise your hand on Zoom or step forward to the table. Seeing no one, will close public comment number one and move to agency reports. We have Ames Chamber of Commerce and Economic Development Workforce Retraining and Outreach Quarterly Report. Good morning. And you're going to just want to make sure your mics are turned on and that you pull them close to you.
Greg will go first.
I was gonna vote Nikki. I'll go first. That's fine. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome back from the holiday. As we know, it is our quarterly. So this is our update on our two different aspects of our work here in Story County. For outreach, in front of you is the new format that we have. That is something we're going to keep improving on here moving forward, of showing you exactly what is going on, along with some photographic evidence just for public record purposes. There is so much going on. It's just easier than a PowerPoint with 37,000 slides. So I think in the future, this is going to be beneficial. I'll take questions first off. I mean, it's pretty explanatory. I just want to make sure that I get everyone covered before I can do a quick overview.
I'd say go ahead into your quick overview.
All right.
Yeah.
So just a quick overview, activity happening all over the county. In Gilbert, there's a new light commercial, 170,000 square feet commercial space being developed. I'm working on with the city and the developer in the property industrial development right behind City Hall and the fire station. It's light commercial, it's open, so it's built a suit. Looking at a RISE grant with the state, that's going to cover half of the cost potentially on that. Specs and engineering are coming, but like everything else, it's going up. So
How big did you say that was?
170,000 square feet total.
Oh,
So
Ouch.
this is the development proposed is it's light commercial, so it's not heavy. It's just open space that is very much in demand right now in Story County. It's going to be open, stick build. So it's going to be open to developers and businesses to locate there, that anyone that wants to use it.
So it's behind or to the east of the city hall area is what you're saying? And so it would be just north of the school?
Yes.
Mhm.
So the area that's been targeted for several years, and then it got stalled during the pandemic. Developers shown interest, and we're working with the city to apply for a RISE grant to help with some of the roadway, which will also benefit hopefully some of the congestion on that road too, to the north. But on that note, I'm also talking to the city about RAISE. It's the new Tiger grants that got repackaged and re-put out by the administration in DC. That's a whole transportation that we're going to be looking at for the helping with the roundabout and things up there on the north side. Collins, lots of things happening there. Catalyst grants proceeding, community center renovation project with CDBG. We're targeting for a grant. They have run out of space in their downtown area. Everything is full. There are some buildings they want to target for repurposing for commercial, but right now everything is full with this Catalyst grant and a new business that is locating in Collins. And I'm going to be bringing a facade grant to you. It's a guns and ammo repair shop. It's hunting apparel, things like that. It's going to be located right in the downtown, right next door on the other side to the Jiminy Crickets that got the Catalyst grant. So right now downtown Collins is full, and we're looking at quality of life and parks as the upcoming year as a target, along with their flooding concerns. Maxwell is working with MIPA on a RAISE grant as well. They got awarded 15,000 we applied for a housing renovation grant with Story County Housing Trust. So I'm working with them to initiate a program this year to help with low income homes that need some TLC, siding, heating, cooling, things like that. Generate and hopefully make this a yearly project for Maxwell. They've never done this before, and it's going to be a brand new program for them. Zeering, I'm working with a company there. It's a $500,000 investment in Zeering. New property, new company. They have 5 employees starting. They hope to have 12 within 5 years. This is huge for Zarian. There are some infrastructure things I'm working on with the community and the city. I'll probably be coming back to you with some more info on that here in the next couple of weeks. But the key thing is that they are up and they are finishing that. And with this infrastructure, if we can get this done, two nearby companies and local businesses are going to be able to improve as well, because the infrastructure bottleneck was hampering their ability to expand. Colo, they closed on their property along Highway 30. That is huge. Amy, I think, was doing happy dances all over the place when the news came in on that. On the downside with Colo, I regret to inform you that we did not get the Colo childcare grant with the state. For a program, I have frustration. I'll point it that way with that grant from the state. It was trumpeted as a rural childcare grant, and it went to communities of 5,000 and above. Communities like Muscatine, Mason City, Sergeant Bluff, and then also Sioux Center. No community was under 5,000. Only one community was a located childcare desert by the state. So we got some initial responses from the state, but overall there's frustration locally with that. However, there's also a hunger that we're going to come back and take another crack at something. So thank you. I was told to pass on thank you for your local match on that. Don't be surprised if we come back with another proposal. We're not going anywhere. So we're just going to reformat and come back in and try to tackle it, because the childcare still needed in Colo. Carlsberg recertifying TIF, 8 city-owned lots. That is now 6. In this 1 week, we have gone down to 6. And I'm looking to get the other 6 lots on the market here in the next few months. The recertifying TIF has been the top priority because of everyone knows they lost that during the audit. I'm recertifying that with Melissa, and we're going to get that recertified so they can start tapping those funds for economic development. And I have a meeting up there with Alliant today to recertify and go through their survey for electrical needs. So that's also on the agenda. Cambridge, we're applying for a boost grant with MIPA. That's a planning grant for $15,000 with the Empower Rural Iowa. We're going to be targeting that for here in the next couple of weeks. And then Slater, and also a whole list of concurrent projects as well. As you can see, like I said, I've been very busy bouncing around, and those are for 2023 targets. So.
And the 2 lots in McCallsburg, are they all from that same group of lots? Okay.
Yep. And it was a single owner. So a single owner bought them. His plan is to merge them into one home with a bigger lot.
Oh,
But he is also planning a bigger home. So it's in this case, it's a 2 lot with a bigger home instead of 2 smaller homes on 2 small lots. It's a program where I've been talking to the mayor and council on it of, is it slab on grade is your goal? Is it rentals? Is it single family homes? Is it duplexes? Just to get things going on the property tax side. However, they also hadn't taken into consideration until my couple of meetings on economic development of, if we don't have TIF done before those go in, the value escapes. So granted, if anything changes with the legislature, that goes, who knows? But right now, if we don't get TIF done and then we get those done, then they can capture that value and start rolling those dollars into their downtown and other projects in McCallsburg. So, but right now, yes, 2 lots are gone as of last council meeting last week, 6 more to go.
So just from your comments here, Greg, you are kind of keeping the mayors and stuff aware of what's going on in the legislature regarding property taxes, or at least I know we started doing like our supervisor mayors
Yes.
meeting. But not all mayors can make that meeting. So I'm just sort of making sure you're kind of keeping that bug in their ear.
Yes, I found in these communities, I usually have 1 or 2 elected officials that become my go-to point people, whether it's the mayor or a city council member. I always give updates to the entire mayor and council, but 1 or 2 usually become my go-to people that reach out to me with questions. However, also too, I always make sure to keep my county outreach contract for economic development separate from my policy side at the chamber. So if anyone reaches out to me, yes, absolutely answer the questions. And I always make sure they're aware of things in economic development like TIF, like House File 1, that directly impacts TIF in the goals from McCallsburg. So I make sure they realize that if they're talking TIF, that these changes are on the horizon. So yes, I always make sure, but I always keep it separate. And that way I got a unique job description, but I always make sure it's on both sides of the aisle.
Great, thank you.
Anything else?
A lot going on in the community.
a lot. Very good to see.
Thank you.
Awesome. So we'll move on to mine. The retraining program, so there was 3 students who graduated. And then there was 2, so CDL's kind of broken up. They have the online and then they move into actual driving sessions. So there was 2 that actually got the online done. And they're already scheduled 2023 for their driving. So you'll be seeing them, but I just wanted to let you know there was a few others. We're still seeing on the Excel sheet I sent you, you'll see, I want to say there was like 4 others also that came back for their last stipend. So they've had a job for 30 days. So we're seeing a lot of that job retention, which is great to see as well. It's hard to put everything on these sheets. So, and then, I want to say 2022, we ended with like 42 or 43 students completing their education course. And we've got 18 already that have started this January, and I got 10 more starting in February. And we're doing a lot more marketing. It's nice to kind of have a refresh on the marketing, and it's really seeming to help. So I'm really excited about the numbers for this upcoming year. Last year was kind of just telling everybody about it, and now I think we're kind of starting to see those numbers. As far as the workforce then, a lot of great events happened in that last quarter. Just manufacturing week. It was a lot of fun. We got to do a lot of videos. Eric, since he was new to communications, he got we went to Burke, we went to Dan Foss. So it was a lot of fun. And I got to do some hands-on stuff. So those videos were a lot of fun for manufacturing week. Our labor shed, we had our informational session and rollout, which we always have that information. It's just not that one session. So we can always help provide people with that. Future Ready Nights, that's something that was my little brainchild, and the SCAN group kind of helped me roll it out with some help with that. So we've done a few schools. We've actually got Ballard again tonight with that. So it's always great. On that front, childcare. So we have started talking to Storytime Maxwell, also working with Colo, Roland. And I do have some meetings with Boost Together for Children, Anita. Her and I are going to get together as well and just see what we can do because there's still a lot of work that needs to be done with childcare. So a lot of things still moving on that. As far as our statistics on, what we're seeing on Facebook, we're still seeing a lot of great touches using Facebook, our workinames.com when we go to the career fairs and things like that. So a lot of our social media is great. So those numbers are there for you. The unemployment rate seems to just kind of be staying right in that 2.1, 2.3. So that is staying, really consistent for the past few quarters, honestly. And then career fairs, we've been doing a lot of work around that as well because people are still, wanting the workforce. They're saying that they don't have all of the workforce. So we've done stuff with the Iowa National Guard. They have a location over there in Boone. So we've used the Armory, and there was 10 job offers on site that day. And since then, I had a meeting with them last week, and there's actually been 25 jobs taken from that, and 13 I know specifically have been a Story County employer. So that's always great news. And then we also had the Story County Career Fair. And we did these ones on weekends. So that was kind of a little different. We did see 2 job offers from that event. Also been reaching out to other universities, such as Drake. So we had an event down there. We got their resume booklet, which is always nice. But it's just nice to reach out to those students who really are not that far away and just let them know that Ames is not that far away either. And then our middle school career fair. I think Latifa, you were there at that one, but that was a great event. All of you. Okay. Yeah. And that was a great event, and we plan on doing that again. The middle school kids just really, just loved all of it. So it's nice to get that engagement from that age group as well. So, and then as far as things that are coming up, I'm going to do something with the National Guard again. all of their leadership loved that. So if you want to ride in a Black Hawk, let me know. It'll be this spring. It's actually a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. You'll have to come over and do it. But we've also, hashtag get a job. We've started planning for that. So we'll have year 2 of that. I'm really excited for that. We saw a lot of really great numbers. We're hoping, the one age group we didn't catch was kind of that college, that 18 to 24. So we're brainstorming already. We had great numbers. We had, 215, job seekers. But we're just wanting to get that other age group. So we're already trying to figure out who do we reach out to in that age group, to kind of help really promote this. So yeah, and then, I mean, there's always other workforce things going on. We got women in leadership coming up, all kinds of things like that. So any questions for me?
Looking at your pardon me, looking at your year-end stats, you had 45 participants, 23 or 24 graduating, which is 53%, with 3 pending. What happened with the other ones that didn't graduate? Is that how am I reading this correctly?
Yeah, so there was 45 that were registered, and I want to say 42 of them, unless something happened with my Excel sheet, 42 of them graduated. I think the 24 is ones that I know that got jobs.
Oh, 42 graduated.
Yeah, so the 3 that we had 3 that ended up dropping. There was one, it was just a medical issue. They just had to drop because they were going into CNA and you couldn't have that. And then the other 2 were actually in our welding, and they got halfway through the class and it was not a fit for them. So
See, 42 graduated, 24 got jobs.
yeah.
Okay, I was reading it wrong.
And there's still more that always come in. So it's hard to say, maybe they didn't reach out to me and tell me, but we always try to keep in touch with them too. Like, hey, did you get a job? But those are the ones that I know for sure got jobs in Story County.
I appreciate your clarification there because I read it as 45 and then was also looking at like the number that received stipends were 38. So I was thinking that then only 38 completed.
Oh, right.
So, maybe even just a line to just say
Yep.
how many graduated would be
Yes,
helpful.
I will do that.
Yeah, I think
Yes,
the
'cause
number,
there's some people that just don't take the stipends. I
And
can't
I-
tell you why, but
Yeah, if they don't need it, that's fine.
yeah.
That was just added my confusion is what was the actual number that graduated.
Yep. Nope. I will put that line
yeah,
on
I
there.
think your data for the number of participants that took a job migrated down to the year-end total row. That's why it was confusing.
Oh, okay.
And then the National Guard job fair, you said you believe 13 of the 20 some that were hired from there came to work in Story County. Was that all the same employer? Do you know?
Yeah, those 13 were all the same employer. I don't know what the other 25 were. We did have quite a few Story County employees or employers
Hmm.
at that job fair. I just know of, what people tell me and like what's getting actually reported.
Right.
But there was over 200 plus soldiers that talked to employers that day. So,
Awesome.
and some of them are full-time. But there was a lot of them, it was shocking. There's a lot of them that are getting ready to retire and they're only, 45, so they were also, talking to the employers and everything. So it was a great event. The open house that happens before the career fair is really kind of the fun, where you get to ride in the Black Hawk and, see all of the weapons and, we got to do night vision, which was a lot of fun to do. So, yeah.
Well, cool. Well, keep us posted as those things come up, and then those of us who are able to go, I know always like that opportunity.
Yeah,
Fantastic. Okay.
definitely.
Any other questions?
No, but
Thank you.
42 graduating out of the 45 started. That's incredible. So good work.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Awesome. Well, thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Veterans Affairs Quarterly Report. I believe we have Brett on Zoom.
Good morning, board. Can you hear me okay?
We
Yes.
can. Good morning, Brett.
Good morning. I'll just go down through and highlight our quarterly report. I believe everybody has a copy of that. So during the quarter from October 1st to December 31st, we interviewed 231 veterans and or surviving spouses of veterans. One family came in for funeral assistance, $2,033. I set up 3 hometown outreach program. One was in Cambridge, one was in Slater, one was in Story City. And then November 18th was our annual supermarket. We had 40 agency staffs there, and we had 104 veterans that came in that day. So that was awesome to get those numbers back up. It's been a couple of years since we've had those kind of numbers. Also, I did a Freedom Flight briefing one evening at the Ames Elks Lodge. And oh, by the way, our next flight is going to be May 10th. We have
Coming right up.
we have close to 20 veterans that are signed up for that flight. Also in the fall for education, in October, I attended a 3-day state service officer school and also attended training on the new PACT Act that we've heard about here. So commissioner, I believe there was 3 commissioners that attended the 1-day commissioners fall school. And that pretty much concludes my report. Any questions from the board?
I don't believe so. Thanks for your good work, Brett.
You're welcome. Glad to do it.
All right, thanks so much. Moving to consideration of minutes from January 10, 2023.
I would move approval of minutes.
Second.
Moved and seconded, Merkin,
Aye.
Hens,
Aye.
Basil, aye. Next, we have consideration of claims from January 19, 2023.
I move approval of claims as presented.
Second.
Moved and seconded, Hens,
Aye.
Merkin,
Aye.
Basil, aye. Consent agenda.
Move approval of consent agenda items as listed.
Second.
Moved and seconded, Merkin,
Aye.
Hens,
Aye.
Basil, aye. Next, we have public hearing items. We have second consideration of resolution 23-49, amending the Veterans Benefits Manual. Hello.
Hello. I'll cover this for Brett. I can unmute him if you have any questions for him as well. Really, today is a procedural matter. There's no action required by the board. It was placed on the agenda because the motion that was made last week did include a second consideration. This is not last week's action was not an ordinance amending the code of ordinances. It was simply a resolution that required a public hearing according to the code of ordinances to amend the Veterans Affairs Manual. So there's no action needed today, but we need to procedurally make sure we followed the action last week and place on today's agenda. Do you have any questions for me?
No, so we do not need a motion or.
You don't
anything.
need, no.
Okay, thank you very much. Anyone have any upcoming agenda items?
No.
Nope. Now it's time for public comment number 2, comments from the public on items not on this agenda. The board may not take any action on the comments due to requirements of open meetings law, but may do so in the future. Anyone wishing to make public comment, you can raise your hand on Zoom or step forward to the table. Seeing no one, will close public comment number 2 and move to liaison assignments, committee meeting updates and announcements from the supervisors. Supervisor Merkin, would you like to start?
Well, we have several budget work sessions coming up again this week.
Mhm.
And I've got some other miscellaneous meetings that are about the same time as the budget work session, so I might have to cut out of a few early. I think we all might be in that situation because there's some that come up that we just got to be on, but Emergency Management Commission is going to meet tomorrow night. And I think because of the weather, we're going to change that to a Zoom because there is a winter storm coming in tomorrow around midday. And we don't want people out on the roads. So I think the notice has gone out on that. There's some WMA meetings coming up, a Navigator Pipeline meeting coming up, which I'm not sure if I'll attend. Also have a SERPA meeting, and Thursday morning, I will be on KHOI giving the county report, and I haven't heard from anybody yet. So if you've got some agenda items, some items of interest to Story County residents, please get them to me by tomorrow if possible. Thank you.
Yeah. Supervisor Hens?
Yeah, busy week, as Supervisor Merkin said, with our budget work sessions. I also have some other additional meetings as well. I do want to make note that on Thursday, we have the Asset Joint Funders meeting as well. Friday, along after our budget work sessions, I do have an Ames mini assessor meeting. And then next week, I will be out of the office next week.
Awesome. Yeah, in addition to budget work sessions, I've got Story County Housing Trust this afternoon, Surha this evening. I have a CCJ board meeting tomorrow night that kind of overlaps with the mayor's meeting, so I'm gonna cut out of the CCJ meeting a little early. Working on getting a Zoom link from IT for the mayor's meeting prior to the emergency management. There's a hunger collaboration meeting tomorrow. And then asset joint funders. And then I have a women in leadership planning meeting on Friday in addition to our budget work and other miscellaneous items. I think that, yeah, that is,
Stuff doesn't stop just because we have budget work sessions, does it?
no, ma'am.
I've got overlapping meetings all over my calendar. and
Yeah,
I don't know how to.
I do too.
Yeah,
I've had
it's just like a
people-
rainbow.
I've had some folks reach out to me to see if they could get in a meeting, and I'm like, I have very little time to carve in for you.
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Mhm.
Yeah, I had similar conversations like that. Okay, anything else?
I move we adjourn.
Second,
Moved and seconded, Hens.
Aye.
Merkin.
aye.
Basil, aye, we are adjourned. Thank you.